Fox News Alert. Now we want to get back to the story of this missing baby in Kansas City, Missouri. Several major breaking developments on this case in just the last hour and a half. We have learned now that Lisa Irwin's mother, that's the baby, Lisa Irwin, that her mother, Debbie, quote, failed miserably her lie detector test. And that's not all. Captain Steve Young is with the Kansas City Police Department, and he's with me now. Captain, thank you so much for being back on the program. What does that mean, that she failed miserably?
Well, we're not saying that. She's saying that, and she's free to say whatever she would like.
No, we have it from a law enforcement source that she failed, that not only did she fail, but she failed miserably.
Well, I understand that, but I'm the voice of this investigation, so I can't confirm that.
Okay, so you can't speak to that directly. Can you speak at all, Captain? Let's talk about this lack of cooperation, because you did come out last night and say that the parents are no longer cooperating. First, let me ask you, is that still the case?
Yeah, it sure is. Last night, as you know, I said that the parents no longer wanted to talk to detectives. They came out this morning and said that that wasn't true, and my reply to that would be fantastic. Our number one and only goal is to try to find this child, and the parents' involvement in the investigation is our best bet to make that happen. So our door is open, and it always has been.
What did it mean when you said that they had stopped cooperating?
Well, I can't get into the details of how that transpired, but it was clear, and that's why we announced that.
Can you confirm, because they spoke to several morning shows today, and according to them, the father said he had reached his boiling point. He said, I can't do this anymore, I need a break, I can't answer any more questions. And it was really no more than the father needing a break, and they never cut off communications. They thought you jumped the gun and going out there and saying, you know, cooperation's done.
Okay. You know, everybody responds to stress differently. If that's the case, I'm sure that there are people that understand that. Again, our door is open, and it always has been, and we just checked a little bit ago with our lead detectives, and we have not heard from the family.
So you have not spoken with them at all today? The police have not spoken with them at all today?
That's correct.
Can you speak at all to this report that we have, that a phone call was made on the mother, Debbie's cell phone at or around 2:30 a.m. on the night little Lisa went missing?
You know, I've heard that floated around from the reporters on the scene. I haven't heard that from the detectives, and quite frankly, if I did know it, which I don't, I wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Sure. Can you confirm that the police have obtained the cell phone records of the cell phones that belong to the parents?
You know, again, we know, according to the parents, they informed us that 3 cell phones were taken from the home. What we've done with those, I can't say. It'd be part of the investigation, but again, I would challenge anybody to try to think of something that we haven't done, and we've probably done it twice.
And, you know, the command center has in large part been shut down. I know obviously the search continues in earnest for this baby, but what does that tell us?
Not much, and we don't want anybody to read much into that. We had a mobile command post set up because of the geography. That was a great way to facilitate an area search. Frankly and unfortunately, we think we've done all that we could in this area in terms of geography saturation, and it just didn't make sense to keep a mobile command post going any longer. The core set of detectives that are leading this investigation are still together, and they're working leads, and they have a command post at another location. But should something arise, we could pull all 100+ of those law enforcement officers back in on a moment's notice to follow up on anything that we can.
And Captain, do you know whether either of the parents has retained a lawyer?
You know, I'm not sure. It would be for them to say.
Have you been contacted by a lawyer on their behalf?
You know, I don't know if our detectives have, to be honest.
Do you want to interview the parents again?
Absolutely. I've said from the beginning, our number one goal is to find this child, and we think we need the parents' help to do that.
The father claims that he offered to take a lie detector test, but the police said it's not necessary. Can you confirm that?
Well, again, I'm the voice of the investigation. I haven't heard that. I've heard that floated around, but again, if that's the case, I wouldn't be able to address it.
Now, the father says that he was working that night, that he was helping build a new Starbucks, I guess, that was going up. Is that the story?
You know, I just know that he said that he came home from work at 4 in the morning, and that's all the information I have regarding that. I don't know where he was working or what exactly he was doing.
There were some reports that that had been confirmed and that he had an airtight alibi, or that his story checked out 100%, that he was in fact at work when he said he was. Are the police willing to go that far yet?
You know, again, I apologize, but that's a detail of the investigation, and I just can't open that door and pick and choose what I'll talk about.
Sure, I understand, and we don't want you reveal anything you don't feel comfortable revealing, but, you know, I got to ask, and so you got to say what you got to say.
Oh, I understand completely.
Captain, you know, obviously with these new reports, and, you know, they're not coming from you, but from other law enforcement officers,
Sure.
more and more people are starting to worry that maybe perhaps this mother in particular had something to do with this baby's disappearance. That, in 99% of the cases, tends to be the case when a baby goes missing. Can you speak to those suspicions that people may be having now?
Well, I mean, I'm sure, you know, a lot of people obviously know about this case by now, and I'm sure speculation and concern, you know, is all over the place. But, you know, the investigation is driven by facts, and, you know, everything is still on the table, and I can honestly say that we do not have any suspects.
And the parents are not persons of interest either?
Well, you know, I'm not a big fan of that term. You know, frankly, if we have a suspect, we'll say we have a suspect. But right now, everything's on the table.
Thank you so much, Captain. All the best to you. I know you guys are doing yeoman